Joining us now for some reaction is Professor Mzikayise Binza, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs and Research at the Walter Sisulu University. Prof, thank you for making time for us. This legacy of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, as you have probably seen, has been the subject of intense debate since his passing. What's your reflection, let's start there, of his life?
Thank you, sir, and the listeners of Newzroom Afrika. The Prince, the leader, the peacemaker, the builder of not only the Zulu nation but of the Republic of South Africa. He's a quite loved person, and he is known, in fact, not only for the province of KwaZulu-Natal or the people of KwaZulu, but as a global player in terms of politics, in terms of building nation. I mean, we know how the Bantustan of the Zulu was created. I mean, in 1994, if you compare the Bantustan of the Zulu nation compared to the Kwakwa, to the Ciskei, to the Transkei, and as well as others, it was very supreme in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of education, in terms of citizenship as well. You know, and you see this man moving beyond the socio-economic development of the nation into the politics. He's known, for example, within the black leadership before 1994 as a person who wanted to have collusion, to say, guys, leaders, can we come together to make sure that the people that were leading at the end get to be emancipated? But this is the route that we must follow. I mean, he himself founded the Inkatha Freedom Party to ensure that the people of the Zulu monarchy are also in the process and in all the systems that can liberate themselves politically. And from there, he went to make sure that all the presidents of the Bantustans have a sort of a coalition, working together to make sure that the black people of the time, I mean during that time, also work together. They can see that the issue of them building the Bantustan is not right, but they need to ensure that at the end, these Bantustans are part of the Republic of South Africa, because it is Dr. Buthelezi, the Prince Ushenge Ngogwagi, who also said we cannot have a situation where when we enter our Bantustan, we have to produce what we call it, the passport. And then when we go to the so-called areas of the whites, in our own areas that we're leading, we have also produced a passport. So they also share the same with the political leaders of the late Mandela and many others, to make sure that they work towards a united democratic South Africa. Yeah. So this is the idea that he fought for when he established the Inkatha Freedom Party, when he led the Zulu nation. It is the man himself, the legend, who ensured that the Zulu nation is united. When King Zwelithini went to study overseas, he oversaw the whole kingdom. And that was done in a very, very peaceful, progressive way. He then, when King Zwelithini came back to take over the leadership, he then, now, our generation, we are a witness of what he did. When King Zwelithini passed, may his soul rest in peace, and to give over the monarchy to the king, to the current king, Mrs. So this leader is known for loving peace, for seeing things that we can't see, but the things that can actually bind and build us as a country, yeah, and as people of the global community.
Speaking of the royal family and the role he's played in bringing about stability, what impact do you think his passing will have on the royal family, considering that there's still contestation around who is the legitimate king There is, of course, another prince who is heading to the courts, and he feels emboldened by the fact that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi had not even provided an affidavit supporting the current king, Zulu Kazolithini. And we also know about their relationship that had broken up in recent time. They didn't really see eye to eye on a number of issues, including on who should be the chair of the Ingonyama Trust.
I do believe that, our people must actually understand, even us, the so-called learned people, we must understand how the old people who are also learned, how they rule our own sort of universes, if I may put it that way, that you cannot expect that the prince will rule and remind the whole nation using affidavits. Because these people used to be in a situation of imbeciles. Imbeciles had no secretaries, but everything was in the mind of those who lead, of those who talk, and the nation used to know that in that imbecile, 10 years back or 20 years back, the decision was this. So I want to believe that if the current king and his monarch board can actually take a leaf from what Dr. Buthelezi was saying in their meetings and be reminded of where they're supposed to go instead of the conflict. Yes, there's supposed to be people who take advantage and being opportunistic about the issues of leadership within the monarch. But I think if we can take from what he was saying in all these kind of things, we know that he always remind them, those who've been with the palace, with him, the regiment, that, gentlemen, this is how we used to do this. And we cannot change our culture because of the lawyers, because of the technology. Our culture is our culture. This is how these things used to be. And they know. People know that he used to be in the inner circle of the kingdom. So I think if we can take those kind of lessons, hopefully they are known to the public, and then I think there are a number of issues that can be resolved by the current king.
But he's had several meetings with other chiefs within the Zulu, the Zulu nation, and what's always been clear is that he had that support as Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And even when he was talking about this relationship that had broken down, he indicated that he feels like the Zulu royal family has been, quote-unquote, captured. He had suggested that the king seems to have been captured. Those were serious allegations. He felt that the Zulu monarchy was vulnerable. So I'm just imagining now, where does the conversation start between the royal family and some of those chiefs who supported him in wanting the king to reconsider the person who was appointed to be the chair of the Ingonyama Trust? Do you think those relations and tensions can be resolved in the interest of course, providing that stability within the Zulu nation?
I do think that those issues can be resolved because there's no need of a court case in this regard. And the Prince Ushenge Ngobwakhe knows that at the end the king has a final say. So in as much as he will give the wisdom and advice on many situations, but he has to take those to the king, and the king will have a final say, unless the king asks him, Dr. Buthelezi, please do advise me, what must I say? And then he will therefore give that particular advice, and the king will take it to the public. But in this regard, we all know, and he himself knows wherever he is, if he, hopefully he's basically in heaven. So he knows that the king has got a final say in this. So if the king feels that the person that must lead the Ingonyama Trust is this one, I think they're supposed to come together and involve the premier in this regard, and then find a better situation to resolve the case. And if the king wants somebody else, and then can basically request the government involvement in terms of the office of the premier, the office of the minister, and other Zulu legends who are passionate to the continuous rebuilding of the Zulu monarchy to find a final resolve on the matter. It is quite possible, but it requires some traditional wisdom in my view.
Professor Mzikayise Binza, I appreciate your time this afternoon. The Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs and Research at the Walter Sisulu University.